Yeah, that was pretty solid.
Dude.
Wow, that we had a good Sonic game in the year of our Lord 2024. I can't believe the best Sonic game since Sonic Generations was Sonic Generations.
Technically, it was Shadow Generations.
Well, yeah, but it's attached to Sonic Generations.
Yes, but internally, this is considered
But
a
it is
separate
its
game.
own game. If you
I
get,
will say, it does have the two-handed sword issue because in 13 years, the only quote-unquote good Sonic games, except some people do like Frontiers, but
Frontiers, baby.
it didn't get the stamp of everyone thinks this is pretty good. It got the stamp of everyone thinks this is pretty okay, at least. Stamp. So if we don't count that one, all of the Sonic games that got, reasonably unanimous praise were all nostalgia bait.
mm-hmm.
This game had a good story. But, now I will say, there was interesting game design. All of the neat game design additions were still good. So, it's not like I was replaying remade stages. Actually, Sonic Frontiers was worse about reusing assets than this game was. Because, all of the quote-unquote stages in Frontiers are literally ripped from other 3D Sonic games.
Yes. Talked about that.
Sonic Frontiers, baby.
But this is a...
The only thing good about Frontiers is will the whole world know your name?
Okay, even people that didn't like Frontiers in terms of gameplay said its story is at least good.
Yeah, its story is decent.
I only care about the 2 songs.
I don't hate its story. They did a good job.
Other than the ending, but then they retroactively added the extra content to change the ending.
Yes. To give you a better ending.
To the other side, I won't give up till the end of me.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was Shadow Generations.
Yes.
Part of Sonic X Shadow Generations.
As far as the Let's Play goes, I let Sean have the story. I can play on my own time and do the cleanup. Though, if I'm doing cleanup in a weird order, I'm probably going back to the base game and then moving back to this later. So, the Let's Play should be my playthrough of Sonic Generations, then Sean's playthrough of this, then back to me playing Generations for cleanup, then back to the Shadow for cleanup to end off in a logical way. But Sean wanted to record this, and I was like, I'll just let him have the story mode. I can play my own. I can play on my own time and do the cleanup. So, me playing is the learning to get good, as I made a joke about in the main Generation game.
I will say, based on memory, the Shadow Generation stages are a good deal more difficult from go,
Yes.
and have a lot of replay value just because of the mechanics. So you may actually hit a point of, man, this stage is pretty hard to get an S rank in.
Ow.
Whereas at least in my experience in Generations, aside from like Planet Wisp, which honestly is just one of those stages after like 3 times of playing, you've cut your time in half. Is not that difficult to get S. You can pretty much play the stages like 3 or 4 times.
I nearly S ranked Planet Wisp Classic
Oh, it's not hard to press Planet Wisp. It's just hard to get under 5 minutes.
for the modern. For Classic,
Well, yes, I don't even think about Classic when I'm talking about
I
Generations.
know. Yeah, but he was there.
All the stages are short and kind of just there. I was never really a fan of the classics, the 3D classic Sonic in general. It was just when Forces did it and just made it really bad. I was like, wow, can we just keep this man 2D?
Mm-hmm.
$2.5D, baby.
So that was basically that, though.
Especially with Mania, it's the best 2D Sonic game ever made.
Okay.
stares at Carson waiting for a response.
I'm busy.
Better than Sonic 3 and Knuckles.
Yeah. No. Boo.
There are no stages as good as Press Garden in Sonic 3 and Knuckles.
But Press Garden is the only good stage in
Mania.
Oh.
No, you have Studiopolis.
I don't like it because of the balls.
That's like
the horizontal heavy.
that's one part of a great stage.
Yes, but it's like 5 minutes.
That's just one part of a great stage.
Mm-hmm.
That's like saying, wow, I really like this movie, but the 5 minutes of ending really good. 10 out of 10 movie for 2 hours of the 2 hours of the 2 hour and 5 minute runtime.
The reason I don't like the one boss fight because the game doesn't let you play acts. I can't just skip to act 2.
Man. That's like saying, man, I really like this cake, but there was a single strawberry on the top, and I don't like strawberries. It's bad cake.
But I can just take the strawberry off the cake. To get to Studiopolis Act 2, I have to play Studiopolis
Act 1.
Yeah, but Act 1 is a good stage.
until the ending that kills it.
Until the ending that has the boss. But the rest of the stage is good.
I also
Literally
like-
just
The level design of the stage is good.
letting you ramble.
Level design, good stage, good. Bad boss, mark some points off for that. Still get passing grade. I cut my leg.
Good job. On what?
Something down here.
Oh, there's that exposed corner of the
It's that, but
one
That's
bench.
a pretty good cut.
bench was broke.
I don't think it's bad. Not
Yeah.
much anyway.
Still sitting here on the mind.
Man, then you have the best version of Chemical Plant that exists.
Chemical Plant still has the crushers. I'm sorry, the stage is terrible because you will always fly into the blocks and get crushed.
But it's a great stage.
No, it isn't.
The sticky stuff.
The Mega Mock act is okay enough. Other act not so much.
It
Most-
also again has the same problem of, and this is the reason I don't like most of the stages in Mania, because Mania has a lot of bosses that have a waiting problem where you have to wait to damage them, you can't beat them, so it drags the time down. Like Chemical Plant, I didn't play a Sonic game to play Puyo Puyo.
Sure you did.
What?
Why are you making me play Puyo
What?
Puyo?
Are you sure? I can't fathom saying, man, I love this great stage. Boss kind of kills it, especially when it's like an easy Puyo
You
Puyo.
sound like a guy that doesn't like Puyo Puyo Tetris, baby.
I don't, because I don't
Puyo
like
Puyo Tetris.
My brain isn't wired correctly to play Puyo Puyo. I always make a joke, you need fucking observation hockey to play Puyo Puyo.
Get good, plebeian.
Man, I don't know. I like, other than like, Titanic Monarch, like every stage in Mania hits.
I would generally disagree with that as well.
I don't know.
Man,
Like, I also don't know what stages you're saying are just better in Sonic
it's
3.
just Sonic, baby.
I can think of like 2 levels in Sonic 3 and Knuckles that are like actually good, and I'm not just kind of playing the game after that. I mean, Ice Cap's pretty good. Angel Island exists. I mean, I guess it's fine. Definitely don't play Sonic 3 and Knuckles for Hydrocity. I definitely don't play it for Hilltop Zone.
Hilltop for
Marble
Sonic
Garden.
2.
Marble Garden. No, what's it called?
What?
Marble Hill? The third act,
Yeah.
the third stage.
It's Marble Garden.
Yeah, Marble
Marble
Garden.
Sonic 1.
No, that's just Marble Garden.
Yeah.
Oh, Marble Garden
Marble
isn't
Gar-
good.
Sonic 1, 2, and 3 have similar naming schema.
Marble Garden isn't good. Ice Cap's fine.
Ice Cap's great.
Launch base exists. It's definitely not better than anything in Sonic Mania, except the bad stages. Mushroom Hill is fun, but it's just kind of Mushroom Hill.
The problem with Sonic 3 and Knuckles as a game, when they knew that they were going to have to split the game in half, they collectively turned half the game into Sonic and Knuckles, meaning they had to scale the game, because if you played Sonic and Knuckles on its own, you would be starting halfway through Sonic 3.
I understand that. But, that doesn't give the pass of these other stages aren't better because these stages couldn't be better.
No, I'm just making...
That's not fair.
No, I'm making a point that, like, the game ends up just kind of weird anyway.
Air Fleet...
Flying Battery.
Flying Battery is, I like Flying Battery, but
I like Flying Battery.
I would not be surprised if someone looked and said, you like Flying Battery? Sandopolis kind of sucks.
Sandopolis
Act 2 is straight up awful.
Yeah, I think Sandopolis Act 2 is bad.
Sandopolis Act 1 is, okay. I don't even remember what happens after Sandopolis.
Even though there's
Lava
now...
Reef.
Even though there's now that weird, like...
Look at me and tell me Lava Reef is a good stage.
I like Lava Reef.
But what's funny about
It
Sandopolis...
is. He said it.
And then you have, the last stage of Sonic 3, which, is a good enough last stage. But, Sonic Mania, it has Green Hill, which is Green Hill. It's about the Mushroom Garden and Angel Island, so, there's that. It has the best chemical plant ever.
Puyo, baby.
Unironically about chemical plant.
Puyo,
I
puyo.
hate chemical plant. Chemical plant is not a good stage in Sonic 2.
No, it isn't.
You have Studiopolis, which aside from the really long boss, is a fantastic stage.
My other problem, I think that level in the first act has a bit too much of a fetish for that stupid, like, bouncing ball thing.
It has Press Garden.
That, like, touch me. That stage is...
It has, I remember the Saloon stage, not the Sky Chase version. I didn't like the Sky Chase. But, when you play Knuckles, or you, in Encore mode, you can play, what is it?
It's Mirage Saloon.
Mirage Saloon's good.
Yes.
I'm trying to remember all the remake stages. Flying Battery is still just as good as Flying Battery was.
Flying Battery was fine, I'll give you that one.
What else is in there? I haven't played it in a minute.
You have the two stages from CD of Metallic Madness and Stardust Speed.
Why?
Well, Stardust Speed is always good. I recall Stardust Speedway being as good in Mania as it is in... If not, it's probably better than it is in CD. CD has a bunch of CD design choices. CD's really not that great game. It's a fine game for what they were trying to do. I think it accomplishes what they were setting out to do. It's not my kind of Sonic game.
CD was designed in a way to be different in its level design. It's trying to help you do the past and future nonsense.
Yeah, and sometimes that gets in the way of of actually fun level design. And so the game goes from being really fun to, oh, here's the point where it wants me to use the sign.
Unless you're one of those weird people that are like the few.
Metallic Madness kind of sucks.
Unless
Wacky Workbench kind of sucks.
CD is funny because there are those people that are like, oh, if you master CD, it's like there's the obvious chunks of level design where you can use the signs, but as long as you have enough speed, the sign works. So there are these like contrarians that are like, oh, you can get like the first pass sign, and if you run and bounce off all the enemies and loop around really fast, you'll teleport. It's like mastering CD means understanding the level design and even kind of ways the developers. It's not that they didn't intend it, but it's like people that really love that love getting speed off the weirdest.
Shit. Like, So look. To hit some opinions since I replayed the classic trilogy. I played Sonic 1, and my new opinion on Sonic 1 is Sonic 1 was probably one of the best platformers when it came out. But they just kept trending up when they made classic Sonic games. So, you know, when I replayed it, I was like, wow. You know, by today's standard, yeah, no, this game exists. By 91 standards, this was probably some hot stuff. Because I sat there and was like, man, can I even call this a good game? And then I sat there and had to think, well, what did it look like in 91 when this launched? And I thought about all the platformers that were out, and you know, aside from the fact that Super Mario World might have been a better game, that's like, that was the only
Most people's problem with Sonic 1 as a game is Sega advertised the fast cool guy that is faster and cooler than the fat plumber, and then most of Sonic 1 you cannot get speed.
Sonic CD is, you know, it's better than Sonic 1, but you know, again, sometimes the sign design gets in the way of the fun design. And so the game kind of gets conflicted by having this weird identity.
Because Sonic CD was an entirely different team doing an alternate take on a follow-up to Sonic, while America worked on Sonic.
Sonic 2 is a decent game, but you know, I definitely did not hold it in as high regard as I used to. Because I played it and was like, yep, you know, it exists. There's some fun parts, there's some not so fun parts. You know, it's a game you can sit down and play. Sonic 3 and Knuckles are like, yes, this is Sonic right here.
I just left this on the mic as a dumb
but
little
I can tell you that, you know,
bonus.
I can almost guarantee you, if I sit down and play Mania, I'm still gonna look at you and say this is the best 2D Sonic game ever made. Unless you want me to compare it to advanced games. And I still would probably say that.
No, motherfucker, the advanced games are terrible.
I like advanced too.
Oh, that game's level designer had a bottomless pit fetish.
He did. I can't deny that. Because they wanted you to use the trick system.
And this carries over into Sonic Rush.
Sonic Advance 3 is good, but you know, has the chow system, which kind of, again, is one of those things that kind of bogs down the level design. I haven't hit 3D Sonic games yet because I'm gonna kind of chip away at Sonic games, kind of reform opinions since I've been bitten since Sonic Forces. I've not played Sonic Adventure 1 and 2, although I imagine my
like the best Sonic game in existence.
They may.
Sonic Forces.
Well, I think some games are going to drop in opinion of is this game as good as I remember? Probably, but I can still tell you I have a pretty good feeling that I'm still going to look at you and tell you Sonic Adventure 1 and Sonic Adventure 2 are still where Sonic kind of peaked. Because I just prefer adventure style gameplay.
Adventure 1 and 2 were technically fine enough. The problem with those games retroactively is the 20 plus years of terrible re-releases adding tons of problems to those.
Sonic Heroes, I'm expecting to play and being
Sonic
Heroes. It's playable. I think I'm gonna have like certain things I like and dislike about it when I replay it. I am fairly certain I have a definitive idea of how I'm going to feel about Shadow, and I do not think I'm going to change my opinion. Maybe I'll change my mind when I get there. I may look at you and say, "Wow, Sonic 06 is really unplayable." Going back to it.
I will always have a soft spot for the Shadow the Hedgehog game.
Sonic Unleashed, I don't know how I'm going to feel about. I do not know what I'm going to feel about the next time I play Colors.
Colors, baby.
Because I have a feeling that every time I revisit Colors after not playing Colors, I have a lower and lower opinion of Colors. It is a game that got really good when I first played it, but it's gotten worse and worse as I replay it. I can tell you after playing Shadow Generations that Sonic Generations is about where I had it, and Shadow Generations is exactly where I was expecting it. I do have Sonic Frontiers because it was free on PlayStation, so I may sit down and play that at some point, but I am fairly certain my opinions have not changed since last time you played it. I can tell you that I did reinstall Sonic Forces, made it about 3 stages in, and then uninstalled it.
Oh my god.
Damn.
You take a chance on
Because
today.
I I was like,
Sky with Sorcerer.
I was like, man, I kind of want to play some kind of boost Sonic game, but I don't have to set up any of my other consoles for it. We don't have anything on PS5, so I hooked up and reinstalled Sonic Forces because it's still on my hard drive for some reason. And I did. I made it 3 stages in, and I uninstalled it because I was like, no,
I don't know how somebody couldn't
cannot
invest
push myself to this game. I still feel like that is just the game is just so hard to play.
Sean, together, we can show the world what we can do, man. Come
I've
on.
done 2 playthroughs of that game.
Come on.
I never want to look at it again.
One last fist bump.
I'd rather play Sonic and Secret Rings.
Damn.
Sonic Secret Rings is a good game
Damn.
compared to that.
Secret Rings was never the
He's always
worst
saying that because he
game.
likes the mini games.
Everyone,
I do like the mini games.
everyone loves their white gloves.
I made my wife and George play the Sonic.
He made us
Secret
play
Rings.
the
And they were
the
really
most-
not impressed with it for some reason.
What do you mean? For some
For
reason.
some reason, they weren't
Oh,
that impressed.
That was
with it.
like,
No.
what? I don't even remember what the minigame was. I just remember being like, what is
Well,
this?
now we know internet content we have to do. And
What?
everyone has to play with a Wii remote. No one can touch it out with a GameCube controller.
Gotta play that. Put it out. Big fire.
Put it out, big fire.
That one was actually good, though. That minigame was actually good in that
I love
collection.
Mason. Put it out. Big fire.
Competitive spot the difference.
Damage. Stop awakening.
There were some days where spot the difference almost caused some fist fights in this house.
Well,
Because-
you
because
got
some-
obsessed.
Because I can't. At one point, I was pretty good at it, but this man opened some third eye at some point, and it was literally not only did he see the difference before you, he was already ready to press the button as soon as it went up, and he just knew when to press the button. It was literally like ding. And I'm like, how am I supposed to play if I don't have time to register what the difference is?
I know we're still on the mic, and I know you say he out of habit, but I'm gender fluid. God damn it.
Okay.
Spot the difference, fluid.
We really do need to record something like the Sonic and the Secret Rings at some point, because recording the minigames for that could
I
be-
still accept he pronouns, but I do a split as a default a lot.
Wild Sonic and the Secret Rings minigames.
There's a reason on Discord I wrote the he, she, they. That's not a joke.
So, like, if we were going to do the Secret Rings, which of the boards should we do? Because some of those boards
I
can...
want to play all of them.
Oh, God.
They're not. Actually, the boards are not as bad as I used to think.
But that
And I
one
do-
can go on
I do
forever!
know, well, so we did play that one.
The competitive spot that
It did
did.
not go on for as it went on very very quickly, and I was like, just so you guys know, there is potential that this version can
Yeah.
never end.
It can literally go to 99 rounds.
Yes, the one board.
Or I say board, but that one's not really a board,
Listen,
it's
I'm
a
gonna
room.
have to on one of the trips over back here bring Mario Party over. I do have new Mario Party.
Before going back to Wii related stuff, I want to finish modding that.
I have new Mario.
I know you said new Mario Party. I'm just saying,
Even
like,
better, it's on my Switch, so I just bring my Switch, drop it on your dock, and we're golden.
that's how that works. Yes.
That is how that works.
If you downloaded it,
I did download Jamboree because they didn't have any physical copies, so I was like, I don't care about having a physical copy. I just want to play Mario Party.
you ever put an SD card in your
Oh.
Switch?
I did. It was funny because I got a new
Hello?
SD card. I
All
got a
around
new
the
SD
corner.
card, and I was like,
Okay.
Still technically recording.
I got a new
Alright,
SD
bye.
card, and I literally was like, I was complaining about having to transfer all of my other SD card stuff in there, and when I messaged on here on Discord and said, hey, I never had an SD card in, it's because I was putting in the SD card. And I was really trying to figure out why the SD card wouldn't come out, and I was like, oh wait, the SD card won't come out because there's not an SD
Big
card
heart.
in the Switch. And so I plugged the SD card in there. I haven't had any memory issues since.
What size did you put in your Switch?
I think I have a 2TB. I have a chat. But I'm probably not going to because I don't have any memory issues anymore. I also don't get a ton of games on Switch.
It supports up to, like, for micro, 2 TV micros don't exist. So if you have a terabyte, it's a single. Because we get a lot more physical. Our Switch is a 512.
I mean, I don't remember what it is. I know it's a big one because I wanted a bigger one because I thought I had a small. I thought mine was too small. So
Yeah.
I'm almost positive I have a 2 TV.
Anyway. Cut recording in a minute. Just the bonus ramble.
I need to. I do need to head out
Yeah.
so I can go sleep.
Yeah, and I can do
But
proper
Let it go on
outro
record
and
that
cut.
Carter needs to get Pokemon TCG Pocket on his phone or his computer. Carson needs to get Pokemon TCG Pocket. Yeah, man. You can open packs. Open more packs.
Repeating the gender fluid thing.
Open all the packs.
Accept my pronouns, goddammit.
Get mad at packs.
Yeah. Okay.
I got mad at pack today. I need one more card.
And
That is
they-
all for Magic X playthrough of Shadow Generations. It was good. Best Sonic game I played since Sonic Generations.
Sean Game did some stuff. That pre-ramble at the end I might leave in because that was kind of funny. And I might even make just a bonus thing of just sitting in the menu with a warning that is just like 15 minutes of ramble.
Good 15-minute ramble sesh.
Look,
That's how you end a playthrough right there.
And I can even, after you walk out of here,
If you're not rambling at the menu, what are you even
do a
editing
proper
video?
cutting outro thing. In fact, I might start that now. They were about to leave. I might end off the Let's Play by cutting here because Sean was about to walk out. And if I did cut to this audio, I basically cut past rambling on the microphone because I just found it funny. And there might be an upload that is just that ramble. And if that is the case, you have been warned. So this outro might be used on the main Let's Play as soon as Sean beat the game. And I can leave the little one thing as a bonus video. And I might literally upload with a warning that it is just the ramble. I just found it funny. But if I'm using this as an outro, I will give them a minute to clear out. Because I got the controller back. So, the Let's Play for the Shadow Generations is basically over. But like I said, if I'm using this, that basically means I might cut. This might be after the fact. I might even use it for both. It depends. Because of that extra 15 minutes was really funny, but with that said, as I normally do at the end of things, I always bring up, I have a Patreon, and I always, shill the Patreon, because I just post videos early, and the lowest tier is $1, and you do get the early videos. And then the second and third tiers I use for miscellaneous stuff. Second tier, I've started posting little sneak peeks by posting thumbnails and stuff. If I get enough people on the third tier, I'm going to start doing polls for people to vote on what I edit. And the third tier is only $3. Second tier is $2, so you don't need to support the Patreon, but if you want to control what I start basically editing, pay for that third tier, and I'll start doing the polls when I start getting people in the tier. And with that said, as I always do my little sign-off thing, and if I'm using this to end off the main Let's Play, then the little ramble will be its own part, and I will just cut to this audio. So, as always, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night, everybody. I hope you come back someday. See you later. It's time for the question of the day and my overall thoughts on the topic. So, anyway, if we ever end off a Let's Play with a discussion like this, would you prefer the discussion being isolated into its own video like I did here, especially if I upload that discussion video and the end of the Let's Play on the same day, which was my basic plan for this specific part, because I'm trying to experiment, because I didn't want an entire part that was basically just our miscellaneous end of Let's Play discussion. So I thought about making the discussion its own video, but uploading that video on the same day as the end of the Let's Play, and basically trying to make it as clear as possible that this specific part was just our discussion, but I basically uploaded it on the same day that I uploaded the final part of the Let's Play. Now, technically, it's not the true final part of the Let's Play, but that was the final part of the main Let's Play for Shadow Generations, and I thought people might enjoy having both of these videos up at the same time. So, as a bonus question, did the name make enough sense? Because I likely put 0.5 in the title to infer that this was a middle ground part. The Let's Play will continue, but this was the most logical way that I could edit these two parts, because I didn't want basically half an hour of our end of Let's Play discussion tacked onto the end of the main Let's Play of Shadow Generations. So I decided to make the final part of the main Let's Play of Shadow Generations and this discussion part two different videos that I basically upload on the same day. Because I know a lot of people hate when a Let's Play part is taken up by 50% or more of a discussion, unless you're heavily invested in that discussion. So I thought this was a good compromise. And I would love to know if I should do this again in the future, which is why I asked this specific question, because I'm trying to figure out what people would like to see. And I thought this topic would be a really good one to basically bring up now. That way I could basically prepare for the future, since I'm the only one doing our editing. Questions and topics like this are the only way that I can basically figure out what people generally expect and appreciate or don't appreciate. And again, I thought this would be a good compromise, especially because this part is going up on the same day. But I'm starting to ramble, but first I need to say that I'm also trying to generally gauge feedback so that I basically can improve editing and basically do what people generally want me to do. That way the viewing experience is a little bit more bearable. But anyway, you can leave your thoughts, opinions, and answers in the comments. Or you can leave them on social media. All of my social media links, as well as my Discord links, are in the video description. Now, as always, I need to be a shill for a minute. If you subscribe to the channel, and if you follow me on social media, that really helps our communities grow. But anyway, I hope you all enjoyed the video, and I hope I will see you all next time. So, as always, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night, everybody. I hope you come back someday. See you later.